Hey there guys, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome to my version of the 10 cards 1 kit using the January 2018 Paper Pumpkin kit. So for my first card, I went ahead and cut up this envelope that came in the kit, and then I'm going to round the two bottom corners using my 3/8 inch corner punch from We Are Memory Keepers. All of my card bases today are 4 1/4 by 11, and all the inside card layers are 4 by 5 1/4. There won't be coordinating recipes, but I will try to give you measurements when I can think of it. So ahead of time, I went ahead and cut out the Blooming Heart Thinlits and the Sunshine Wishes love out of copper, and then I also cut the love out of black as well to give it a bit of a drop shadow look. You guys know I love these two colors together. I mentioned it in the unboxing that I had the copper and black card during Christmas, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to adhere that down with our regular adhesive, and then I'm going to use these dimensional adhesives to adhere the Blooming Heart. Now you'll see me go back and forth between these and our regular, and that's because these are actually kind of tall. They're almost have an extra like 2-dimensional stacked on top of each other, so they're pretty tall. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this love to the bottom, and that's actually the end of the first card, if you can believe it. So here's a picture of that one. So here for my second card, I will be using the striped pattern and also pulling it apart. And I'm going to bring in my 1 1/2 inch and my 1 inch circle punch, and I'm just going to punch a bunch of circles. I love this kind of layout where you just use a bunch of different papers, solids, stripes, whatever patterns you want to create a card. And I've actually made cards like this quite often. So I'm going to pull in the sentiment from the Paper Pumpkin kit that says, "You make my heart happy." I'm going to stamp that with Memento Tuxedo Black ink onto one of the pink circles. I'm going to adhere that circle with regular dimensionals, and then I'm also going to be gluing down the other larger circles just with some Tombow Mono liquid glue. So I'm just kind of figuring out my layout here. And like I said, I'm going to adhere those with liquid glue, and then I'm going to pop up the smaller ones, again using our regular dimensionals. You could also use the dimensionals that came in the kit. You could also use the glue dots that came in the kit to adhere what you don't want to use regular glue for. So now I'm going to add some of the Flirty Flamingo enamel dots that came in the kit. These are really, really fun. I love the pop of pink against the black. This is probably one of my favorite cards that I created today. And so then I decided that I wanted one more small circle, and I decided to add it to the top. Just a few more dots, and that card is done. So for this next card, I have a Melon Mambo card base, and I have cut, again, trimmed down one of the striped envelopes. And here I went round and round. Initially, I wanted to use turquoise and pink because you guys know I love bright colors. But, and that is a scribble from the Swirly Scribbles Thinlits. But I just couldn't get it to work the way I wanted to. So I went ahead and cut down one of the scalloped edge little love notes in the kit. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere a piece of the black shimmer ribbon. It's so pretty. You guys know I love this ribbon. So I'm going to use a piece of washi tape on the back to adhere that on each side. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my heart. Oh, first I'm going to adhere, no, I'm going to adhere the heart. This is where I decide that I'm not going to do the turquoise. And then I fiddle around with the vellum. So I've decided to go ahead and adhere the heart, and then I'm going to stamp on the vellum using the Be Mine. And this is where I made a critical error. Memento Tuxedo Black ink will not stick to vellum. So I went ahead and saved it by embossing it with the Zing glitter black embossing powder. But if you don't want to emboss it, make sure you use our black archival ink. You could also use Stays On ink if you still have it as well. So I kind of wanted this underneath the heart, and so I went ahead and added that, and then I used the leftover glue on my hand so I could add some black sequins. These are just from my stash. I'm pretty sure they came from Hobby Lobby probably 100 years ago, back when I was making ornaments. And then I decided to go ahead and use the glue dots from the kit because I wanted to add just a little bit of adhesive to help secure that banner. And then I went ahead and added extra sequins. And then I'm just going to pop this up with my regular dimensionals, and I'm going to add some more sequins. And then for one final touch, I decided it needed some shimmer, so I brought in my clear Wink of Stella, and that's it for card number 3. So for card number 4, I have a Fleur de Flamingo card layer that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I am using my embossing buddy because I'm going to heat emboss this stamp from the stamp set. I'm stamping it just randomly in Versamark ink. I didn't want it to be straight. I wanted varying, it to go in different directions, etc. So I'm basically making my own pattern paper, and then I'm going to sprinkle clear embossing powder over this, and I'm going to heat emboss it until that powder is melted. So I mentioned it before, but I get these little containers at the Dollar Tree, and then these little spoons are just ice cream spoons, mini ice cream spoons from Amazon. So again, I'm going to heat that till it's melted, and you can see that we're going to have a tone-on-tone effect that is so much fun. So again, I had to bring in the black shimmer ribbon because I love it. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this with regular dimensionals, and then I'm going to bring in my 2 1/4 inch circle punch, and then I'm going to stamp our panda, also using Versamark ink because I'm going to emboss him with that same Zig glitter embossing powder. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't have a problem with it. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I wish Stampin' Up! Would come back out with more glitter embossing powders. So I'm just coating that, and I'm going to get his legs, little dugs too. And then once he's done, I'm going to go ahead and use Wink of Stella to color in the white because I want him to be sparkly all over. And then I'm going to use my 2 inch circle punch to punch him out. I'm going to adhere these 2 circles together with regular dimensionals, and then I'm going to add it to the card. After I try to scratch something off, apparently, with my no nails. Then I'm going to go ahead and add one of the little pink dots to the heart that's on the envelope, and I'm going to finish this card off with a bow. Again, the black shimmer ribbon, and I attach it with some glue dots, and that is card number 4. So for card number 5, I really wanted to bring in the Petal Palette bundle because I was so excited to stamp and emboss this floral set of roses in copper. So you see me cut off one of the envelopes, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing 2 of these, so I'm just going to show you one. I'm going to coat that paper with my embossing buddy. It's just an anti-static tool. I'm going to stamp 2 of these, and then I'm going to heat emboss using the copper embossing powder. It's so pretty on this craft, and of course it looks beautiful with the paper that's already in the kit. Again, I'm going to use a piece of washi tape. I do use my magnetic platform, but it's user error. I always manage to slip it. So this is a black card base. Like I mentioned, all of the card bases are 4 1/4 by 11. I prefer top folding cards when I do them. And then I'm inserting the Whisper White piece. So I have cut down a piece. I'm going to cut down this envelope, and then I'm going to cut down the piece of the black with the rose gold hearts. So here I'm just showing you that I'm basically cutting off every single flap, and that is going to be my card layer. And then I got a little crooked. It's not surprising, knowing me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to this one. I really love these envelopes, but they're actually really, really pretty as they are. So I'm going to go ahead and trim some off the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and trim some off the side. And at first I thought I was going to go ahead and punch, but I actually kind of like it straight on that side up there. Plus you're not going to see it because I'm going to end up covering it up. So I'm going to adhere these 2 together with Tombow liquid glue, and then I'm going to use some washi tape to adhere the ribbon that came in the kit. Dear Stampin' Up, please bring this to the annual catalog. Please and thank you. You guys know I'm obsessed with copper, rose gold, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to bring in a sentiment from the petal palette because I couldn't find one that really went with like the tone of the card or the theme of the card. So I brought in this I Just Love You, and I am stamping it with Versamark again onto one of the labels that came in the kit. And I'm going to emboss that with copper embossing powder. And I really, really love the way this turned out. So now that it's done, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my panel again with regular dimensionals. And then I'm going to add one of the roses at the bottom. Oh, first I have to add I missed a couple of spots on the corners. So I'm going to actually use the dimensionals that came in the kit. I've already added them to this one. And then I'm going to adhere the label with glue dots because I wanted it to have a little bit of dimension to come off the ribbon, but I didn't want it to be above the roses. So again, I'm using up the bigger dimensionals, and I'm going to add that to the top, and that's it. That's all 5 cards. I really enjoyed this. I hope you did as well. I think all 5 of them are completely different than the other ones, and I will see you tomorrow with the next 5. Bye for now.